Hmm. So I think in terms of starting an internship, um, I would just keep in mind that an internship is primarily supposed to be an experience for you, especially if it's unpaid, right? Like you are supposed to be the one getting the most from it. You're supposed to be understanding if this is a career that you can see yourself in. And so, really, just making sure to ground yourself with that. If you start to realize that you don't like the internship that you have, then it's important to like be honest with yourself, be honest with your manager about the types of interests that you have, because it's really like a fundamental time to really understand what you like to do and what kind of future career you can see yourself having.
I would say that it's really important to be transparent during interviews and set boundaries, especially as Autumn was saying, when it's unpaid. So if you're not going to be getting compensated for your work, but you still want the experience, you don't want to be like taking advantage of it all with your time. So make sure they know what you want to get out of it. Like what I did is I said, if you need me to come somewhere in person, I need a month's notice at least, because I'm not going to be like running around at an internship I'm not being paid for. So just stuff like that. So I'd say be transparent with your boundaries. Network while you're there. I would like at everybody you talk to on LinkedIn. Be super nice. You want to be like a face they remember in the future if you ever cross paths again. So networking, and then lastly, I would say to get as many internships as you can while you're undergrad without overwhelming yourself, of course, but being able to kind of see different fields, it's so beneficial to when you have to decide like what your career is actually going to be. So in many different fields, as much as you can relate it back to what your end goal is, I would try to like get a foot in.
Yeah, in my experience, starting an internship is really hard. Primarily because you're thrown into this position that you're doing for the first time, and it's really easy and inevitable that you'll make mistakes in what you're doing. And in the process of all that, it's really hard to start like thinking down on yourself, right? I remember when I got to the Adler, we were sitting in a meeting and everyone's talking and everyone's talking about ideas for the project. And I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like all these people are way smarter than I am. Um, but it's you're in a new you I think what is important to understand is that you're in a new environment doing something new, so it's going to take time to acclimate. So I think that the most important thing when starting a new internship is to be excited and to hit the ground running, but also understand that there is a learning curve, one that you may not immediately see, but one that will become apparent, and just to ride that curve. um, at the end of the day, you're there to make mistakes. You're there to get an experience and you're there to grow. And you can't do any of that without failing. And in terms of the most important things for applying for the first time, do not let those annoying rejection emails like have any give you the idea that somehow you're not in a good place to be applying for internships. Last time the research application season came around, so last summer, I applied to 12 sites, spent like a month and a half on applications, and I didn't get into any one of them. And I think it was really easy for me, especially when I got that first rejection letter, just to be like, okay, like I'm clearly not doing something. I began to overthink. Maybe I'm not like being as serious as I should be with my physics stuff. But if that's not the case, I mean, there's so many people applying to these things, and in some component, the decision process is it has some random component to it. So you can't take it to heart when you get those rejection emails. The only thing you can do is look for new opportunities and just keeping on. So yeah, in both cases, whether it's starting one or applying to one, failure is the biggest way to lose momentum. And I would say that the best advice is to not let that be the case. Just keep going. If you want it, then go and get it.